Hello, it's Gabrielle here from Boingboing and the Centre of Resilience for Social Justice based at the University of Brighton. Many of you know me. I've had the pleasure of working on behalf of the Hastings Opportunity Area, and I've been cycling around visiting you in your schools, meeting reception staff and premises staff, teachers, TAs and senior leaders, and we've been working together to look at mental health and resilience across the whole school. You've been doing an absolutely fantastic job. And so now I'm going to try and reconnect with you because I can't meet you in person and talk about some staff wellbeing through a series of videos. Let's crack on. It's amazing what schools have achieved since March 2020. You have been flexible, you've been creative, you've been courageous. I know there have been enormous pressures, changing expectations, bubbles, thousands of emails, cleaning desks. Spontaneity is so last year. And it wouldn't be surprising if some of this has taken its toll on you. Some of you may be feeling worried. You may find yourselves more irritable. You may have disproportionate reactions to things which take you by surprise. You may feel sad. These would be very normal reactions. If they're interfering with your ability to get on with daily life, then it's a time to reach out for help. This is a long haul and we need to put some things in place which are going to help us to keep going despite the fact it's so challenging. And Boingboing has some ideas which you might want to reflect on, which may be useful to you. Let's start by looking at some of the key principles of Boingboing's resilience approach. The first one to note is that the research tells us that resilience is dynamic. It's not an innate personal quality and it's not fixed at a point in time. It changes, and you may have found this yourselves over time, over this period, where sometimes you seem able to cope with anything that's being thrown at you, and then sometimes a pupil being rude to you can really set you off. Another thing to think about is that it's actually more effective to work on the whole school environment and to be thinking about creating a resilient culture in school and saturating the environment with all these opportunities to build everyone's resilience than to just tell staff individually, well, you need to look after yourselves and you need to work on your own resilience. So that's what we're going to be talking about in some of these videos. The third thing to think about is that resilience is affected by socioeconomic inequality. That's no surprise, but think about that in terms of where you're living, the area you're living in, how that's affecting the pupils and families you're working with, and then the knock-on effect then on yourselves and how you're able then, you're picking all this stuff up and your ability to be resilient in the face of all that. And so we can't really think about tackling resilience without actually tackling some of those social justice issues. And then finally, resilience is everyone's business, and this means that in schools and colleges we really need to be trying to help everybody to feel involved in being part of the solution. And sometimes you can't just say, my door's open, just come and talk to me. We really need to think about our systems so that people are invited to participate and to give their ideas, because nobody's an expert in this time, but also that everyone recognises their power. So the way that everybody approaches the day and approaches the pupils and approaches the parents and talks about them and talks about what's going on is going to affect the resilience of everyone else. It's all about relationships. And so if we try to really think about how to create a situation where people recognise what they can do to help create a resilient school culture, that's going to make it easier for everyone to be resilient. So that's a whistle-stop tour through some of the principles from the resilience research. Your well-being is central to everything we're trying to do. And as you've picked up, it's really not about you just looking after yourselves alone, but creating a resilient school culture. And some of the rest of the clips are going to talk through exactly how you can do that with lots of examples, and also the noble truths, which the principles which underpin what we're trying to do when we look at resilience planning. So see you in the next clips. You can find out more, including information on Boingboing's academic resilience approach, from our website, boingboing.org.uk, where we have free to download resources and also a guide to children and young people's mental health in schools with a COVID edition.